Hey everybody, morning. Hey, new channel supporter, Eric. Thank you for being a channel member. And we've got Ivan, Jerry, Don, Frank, Terry, Donald, Craig, Arturo, Svenborn, Cliff, Diane, Aki, Scott, Hugh, Pauline, Joseph, Mark, Ted, David. Good to see everybody. I need to post an update on the 50K challenge account holdings for the channel members. I'll probably do that later. But checking in how we're doing. Popping over. Let's see. Find me on here. Right there I am. So how we're doing? Basically 2 months. We've got 2 months now. Averaging $3,000 a month. Goal, $50,000 a month for the 50K challenge. Reliable trading income. I'd say 100% win rate. That's pretty reliable. I don't know what you might say, but I'd say 100% win rate is pretty reliable. Average gain per trade, about 123 bucks. So you can see this has been quite a few trades right there to get 6,000 bucks. Average gain, about 93%. Not bad. Last trade in the log here. I do show them all if you're logged in. Right there. They only show up on here after... Oh, not sharing the screen. Duh. There you go. Sorry. Dun, 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 dun. 6,000. So we're at $3,000 per month. And divide by 2. And here's the last trade right there in the log. So not too shabby. Not too shabby to toll. So $3,000 a month, 2 months in. The goal is to make that into 50K per month. Got a ways to go. But doing pretty good. That's reliable. 100% win rates. 123 bucks per trade. 93. Not bad. Not bad. 2 full months into this challenge. So K-Info doesn't show you my active open positions so much. And I do have the Rocket Lab. So everyone's like, what are you going to do with Rocket Lab? Check it out. Why would I sell? This is the most beautiful market roadmap pattern. I got put shares at 26. I'm break even. Right there. That's $10. That's 700 shares. $10 gain. $7,000 potential profit. I have not sold a call. There's no premium above like 30. There's no premium here. And go popping down. Let's see, make sure. This is flipped to every other. See, like 30, like 5 cents. But what's crazy, there's no premium up here. So you can't really sell a call and make any money in the short term. Look at these 2 candles right here. Not really sure why there's no premium. I mean, look at that candle. Went from 26 up here. And then this one went from 28 up here. This one over here, big fat candle. Yesterday was a nice pop. Today, we're taking it back down a little bit. We'll see. Could we go to the roadmap line? Yep. Entirely possible. That would be like a $5 move times 700. That's $3,500. I'd be down. I'm okay with that. This is a potential bounce on multiple time frames. So far, 30-minute holding, 1 hour holding. Didn't touch the 4 hour, but we might come down here. And the daily already in play. Might have to hold it for a little while, but the target is right up here. Based on the historic of tens of thousands of these trades, 75% likely, 70% likely for those two targets. Any questions? You can let me know in the chat. So coming up later today, in case you missed it, I have a third-party event at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. It'd be awesome if people showed up and made some chart requests, because it's a request show. I do have that coming up at 5 p.m. right here on YouTube also. But if you can't make 5 p.m. work for you, here's one for 11:30 a.m. right here. You do have to register. It's a third-party event. I don't have the Zoom link I can just throw you. You have to register there. So they'll send you marketing stuff. So use a disposable email if you want to. Oh, excuse me. Spent too much time outside. So if you want to come see me, come hang out. There you go. Timing research. They'll put the replay up on their YouTube channel. Pretty sure. Sometime later. But you won't be able to. That'll be a replay. It won't be a live. So if you want to make live requests, you got to come hang out with me. Retail sales out this morning. Market just says, more interested in war, I guess. Trump actually came back from the G7 whatever meeting in Canada, the 51st state. My wife says quit calling it that. Anyway, retail sales coming in light. Core retail coming in light. Yeah, that's a big light, actually. We're expecting a plus 0.2. We got a negative 0.3. I mean, that's a 0.5 swing. Expecting a negative 0.5. Got a negative 0.9. It's not exactly strong. That's the kind of numbers I was expecting last time. I said something was up when they bumped it off. And looks like a big negative is why they bumped it off. Now, we do have the FOMC meeting tomorrow, which this is probably inside the shadow of the FOMC meeting tomorrow at 2 p.m. They've not telegraphed any rate change at all. No rate cut, no rate raise. I put probably 90% odds on doing nothing. As far as rate cuts or rate raises go, I would say that the rhetoric might be an excuse for the market to flush out, especially given the uneasiness, the war rhetoric, the excuse for pulling back overnight. Trump leaving the G7 meeting and putting on Truth Social that everybody should evacuate Tehran. I don't know what's about to happen, but anyway, that just looks like more chop to me. All night we're just getting chop, chop, chop it, chop, 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 chop. Let's see. You don't have a handy dandy little finder tool. That's lame. Let's see. What am I looking for? There it is. Chop. Just more chop. Chop, chop, chop. So that's what we got right now. Looking at the futures here. That's support. If we get through it, 1 hour will be the next. Right down here, 6,000. Get through that, 4 hours next. Right down here, 59. Haven't actually touched that in... Wow. Since April. So it's been a month and a half since we've touched the 4 hour. Probably due for a little deeper. Probably due for a little bit of whoop. Right down there, touch that 4 hour at least. If we get through it, daily comes into play. That's all the way down here at 57.70. That's a ways down. So, guess before we talk too many trades, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Just because things work in the past doesn't mean they work in the future. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, and entertaining. Not a recommendation to be buying or selling anything, including stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, treasuries, stuff from gurus like me. Don't buy it. If you desire personal financial advice, hire and consult a financial advisor. Yeah, make sure you trust me if you're going to buy anything from me. If you don't trust me, you don't think I have your best interest in mind, don't buy stuff. Like that's kind of the deal. I left my monster sitting off the desk there. Put it back up here. Alrighty. Some more chop, 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 chop. Haven't been able to break out. Lots of stuff firing off. I don't know. I expect a pullback. I mean, do we pull back from right here? We tried to bust out yesterday on NASDAQ. That may be reason enough to go on a deep retrace. Failing the breakouts. Russell. Breaking through the downtrend. Backtesting. This is a big red flag right here. Push through the uptrend of lows. Backtested it. This thing could get spicy real quick. Real spicy real quick. Man, I don't even have my hot pepper. Let's see if I can find my hot pepper. There it is. It can get real spicy real quick here. This one, quite interesting. We came back down. That rhetoric on... yeah, yesterday we sent, I guess, Sunday night into Monday morning, we sent like 30 refueler jets from the United States over to Europe. Final destination unknown. They were showing up on the trackers. And maybe like, well, why didn't the mainstream media talk about this? I don't know. We also deployed the Nimitz carrier group to the Middle East yesterday, or at least they left for the Middle East. I think it was yesterday, maybe it's Sunday. Anyway, ramp it up. This thing might go full tilt. If it does, oil may go to triple digits, 3 digits. I can't write with the mouse very well. Triple digits. So that's 100. Right up here where, funny enough, we've got the giant target sitting there. Did I know we would have a war? No. That's a resistance zone, though, right there. That's the 618 retrace of this whole big correction we've had since 2021? 2022. 2022. We topped in March of 22. It's going to be a while ago. I can't remember exactly. It looks like early March 22. We just bottomed out in April. And now we might take this right up here. It's funny how this is like the door on the Boeing type of thing. I mean, I've had that target up here since back here, since we were doing this, price action over here. I've had this target zone. Kind of set it up because we only made a nominal lower low. Didn't really adjust much. I expected this to happen on the chart. Not war, not whatever. I mean, the reasons, I don't know. You can say the reason that we're going higher is because of all this Middle East crap, but it's set up on the chart. It set this thing up for the last 3 years. That's the crazy thing to me, is that this thing is set up here on the chart. Is it the chart that makes the news important, or is it the news that makes the chart work? It's a real mind bender. We'll see. We broke out, back tested support. If we break back higher than whatever that was, 77 roughly, 7780. If we break back higher than that, it's pretty highly likely we're coming up here to 95 to 105 area. And as David A says, USO, UCO, I mean, USO is the underlying. UCO, I got some, buy some calls if you wanted to, or some shares, and look for this. I'm looking for that move right there, which is not a higher high. It's just the 618 right there, somewhere in that neighborhood. You see, I've got a bunch of alerts in that vicinity right there. Been waiting for this for a while. Thought we might bounce right there, but we didn't. We made a lower low. How quick? I don't know. Could take into next year, maybe. Could go fast. I mean, we could rip right up there. Timing's the hard part. Gold. I think this is probably a top. I mean, I've been saying that for 2 weeks now, but we ground a little higher. We didn't make a higher high. Be careful betting on this going higher from here. First move down, retrace. Next move down, retrace. Final move down. That would finish it up and set us up for a bullish move. We might be waiting on silver. This might need to tap that 3760 and start its retrace. Maybe back to the roadmap line before gold can follow through. If this happens and that retrace happens, get long precious metal, because it's probably going to go ripping. Platinum stalling out a little bit at that prior high. Expected. This may need to retrace before it can pop. If it can break out through that zone, have to go up some time frames here. We could be looking at like an epic breakout back to probably levels we haven't seen since 2011. Yeah. That one looks pretty sweet. Palladium, not quite participating. So when you say metals, you got to be careful. Not all the metals are participating yet. HG, copper, not really. Just consolidating. That looks kind of like looks like it's going to need a move like this, and move like this, and then a move like that. Bitcoin. That was up a little bit and then turned real sour after President Trump started tweeting or posting or whatever you want to call it. I guess posting on Truth Social about it, the war rhetoric. Still expecting that to come back down. Low hundreds, if not tagging the roadmap line right down here. That's what I would expect after this massive move up off the lows. First move down, second move down, somewhere in that 96 to 100 right now. Could go down to right in here, 92, 94, but as the roadmap line comes up, kind of expect a little higher level of support there. Cool, moving stuff I didn't mean to move. Golly. Sorry, that cough. Can't shake it. Index. Took some cough medicine, so I'm a little bit swimmy headed. Sorry. I do apologize. That not totally with it today. This one going absolutely nowhere. More sideways action. Beautiful. If anything I say is helpful, beneficial, give me a thumbs up. Lost a couple people on cough medicine. It's like NKD, just doing this little wedge squeeze thing. Do we pop out? Go higher? I vote that this is probably going to happen, but if we can break out, we'll probably push everything to extreme levels. That scares me, though, because that completes the 2007 pattern. So it's not awesome. If you've not seen the 2007 pattern, right here, this is what I'm talking about. Right here. Let me pop that. See this pattern? This is 2007. This is current. S&P 500. Right there. If we pop a higher high, which is what we did in 2007, this match it. I mean, look how close that, like, that's scary the same. Looks like the same dang chart, pretty much. This led to a 57% correction in the S&P 500. Yikes. So if this drops here and doesn't hold, we could see something bigger, deeper. This is an indication of global liquidity. It might take the US market down with it. DXY, which is the dollar, still hunting for that low. Hadn't really moved in, I mean, we dipped in here on Thursday last week. Friday, didn't really move. Yesterday, didn't really move. Today, not really moving. So nothing really cooking on the dollar here. Apple. So this is probably, look at this right here. This is probably an A wave. This bull shirt is probably a B wave. And we're probably going to break up for a C wave. And then we'll probably do that second move down. But can the S&P correct? And this is where I have trouble with this. Like, can the S&P correct while this thing doesn't do anything? And then the S&P go higher if this does correct? I don't know. That's what this looks like, but it may just break down and go lower. So, very cautious on Apple right now, being long. Looks like it needs that second, first move down, retrace. It did hit that 50% right there. So that's the minimum we needed to do this right here. Timing always, I'm not predicting time here. This could last like that. Amazon, First move down, potential second move down. Nothing's changed on any of these, really. We're seeing this across the Mag 7s, which is why the downside potentially very dangerous in the market right now. Google, same pattern. Meta, same pattern. A little higher, but same exact pattern. Nvidia, same pattern. Well, this has got a little more complicated thing going on, but first move down, potential second move down. If we break that, we could go quite a bit lower on Nvidia. Danger pattern. Tesla, first move down. Working on a little baby first move down, second move down. And if we do that, we could break out of this and actually go higher. We do have the Cybercab or Robotaxi, whatever, hitting the street on the 22nd now is the schedule. So that'd be Sunday for the public. We'll see what happens. The only one that's different is the one I skipped, Microsoft. That one already did the first move down, second move down, flush out, and is grinding up here, hunting for that target right up there at 46. That's still 75% likely based on my calculations. There you go. So what we got. So I go pull everything moving $2 more up in the pre-market, put it on the gainers list, $2 more down on the pre-market, put it on the decliners list, and we hunt for opportunities. So take a look. And if you stick around to the end, I'll give you my bias for the day. I did throw in the chat the link for at 11:30 coming up. I'll throw it in the link. I'll throw it in the chat again. Coming up at 11:30 Eastern time today. I'm doing a 30-minute show at a guest spot where it's all requests. No blabbing, no extra anything. So if you want your chart pulled up and reviewed, there you go. Come hang out. They are, they're a marketing machine, so use a disposable email if you want to come hang out there. RGC, this one's been absolute crazy. Did a 38 split, whatever, and then went on an absolute bananas run for some reason. JBL, right up in the targets. Beautiful. Potential going up to 214. Reddit. Oh, baby. Man, I should have held that. I sold out my RDTL, but that one's probably coming on up to the 618 right there. Beautiful move. These look like yesterday's. No, they're today's. Yesterday, very similar to today, I guess. Circle, another rip. Verve. Can't really, I can't really do anything with 8 candles, 9 candles. That doesn't tell me anything. I can jump down time frames, but you can still, that's still only a few dozen candles, and there's no roadmap line, there's no nothing. It's just a 3-wave move. 3-wave moves are corrective. 95% of things that get listed start out corrective. Expect it to kind of stop in this area maybe. First move up, retrace, next move up, and then potentially get a deep retrace. So be careful chasing circle. Verve, man, when biotechs show up, biotech pharma shows up as the top stuff, this is like a big caution in the market. I'm just been doing this long enough. When biotech pharma kind of leads the list here, when they're making the top and quality names aren't, that's time for caution. LEU, one of the, we've talked about that quite a bit lately. This one just on an absolute rip here. Potential to keep climbing the fib ladder, 216, 241. One of these days, we're going to make a big retrace. We'll find support, and that sets up a next bigger, more reliable move. They make whatever it's called, HALEU. It's the uranium fuel for the SMRs that are so plentiful in this country. If you missed the conversation yesterday, talked about that for like 30 minutes. So go check that video out from yesterday. Reverse splits, dumpster fire, don't touch this. piece of garbage. Dumpster fire right there. Wiley and Sons. Oh, that's okay. That's Wiley Publishing. First move down, retrace. Might do a second move down. Maybe cautious there while we're under the roadmap line. Can still get more downside. Oklo. So if you're not in nuclear right now, I would wait for a pullback. We're ripe. S&P's ripe, Nasdaq's ripe, Russell's ripe. This hyped up stuff, we went from AI being the hype to now nuclear is the hype. Be careful. Like, we're probably going to get a vicious pullback. Like, see what happened here when this gave up. Just went into a sideways chop. Sure, you can get some rips, but this was all the rage along with this one. And they've just not been doing anything here. This one actually looks like it needs another flush too. AMD coming out with, they get some attention, but this probably going to finish up a little move here, then get another retrace. They're actually producing some chips, and OpenAI started buying their GPUs because they're cheaper than NVIDIA's, more plentiful. I talked about this, how if you paid attention at all, like, a lot of companies will do their R&D work, research and development work on NVIDIA GPUs. Then, when they need to produce end-user products, they go contract with AMD to mass produce the chips. PlayStation, Steam Deck, Nintendo, lots of other companies go contract with AMD to produce these specialized system on a chip with integrated GPUs, and then they buy millions of them. So it's kind of interesting. You go train your AI models on NVIDIA GPUs, then you run them on AMD stuff. Interesting. So we could see AMD break out of this funk. It's been in this correction, potentially bottomed, potentially giant measured bounce. If this actually can, I'd love to see this pullback, retest the breakout here. Could set up a large upside move, like 300 maybe. Talked about this one yesterday. NLR. Probably topping out. Watch for a retrace. FBIM. I probably hit that definitely, not probably, that definitely hit the target. Watch for another retrace here. AIRO. Well, that's some choppy stuff. FRHC coming down. Look for the roadmap line. If we can do that, pull that up. Presents opportunity for a bounce and a run higher. So looking for this to finish up the downside here so we can go higher. SBIT, ultra short Bitcoin. Hey, this could be popping off. We get that pullback in Bitcoin, this thing might get a little pop before it continues into the abyss. Reddit, RDTO, like I said, maybe I should have held on to that. That's 25% higher, almost 30% higher today. Jeez. Cheese and crackers. I mean, like 65%, so I'm not complaining one bit. I bought shares right down here and sold them out yesterday at 20, right there. And now it's ripping. It's not about what you miss, it's what you get. I got 65%. SMR. That one maybe heading on up to 54. Needs a retrace. Golly, man. All of a sudden I start wheezing as I'm talking. First solar, first move down, retrace, may get the extension. Watch out. May come down in the 80 area. MMYT. I put the decliners on here because some of these have already bottomed and present opportunities. So this is what I'm doing. 99% of stuff in the market probably isn't tradable for me, the way I do it. So I'm a trend pullback continuation trader. This was a trend. This was a pullback. And we're looking for that continuation. 130 would be it, but we're not. We're closer to the support than we are to breaking out. T-Mobile. This one's probably got a little bit more downside to go. If we can hold a low in this vicinity, around 210-ish, sets up a nice big fat next move higher. Probably something up in this 300 area. That's like a 50% upside on shares. ENPH. Yeah, T-Mobile's due to roll out Starlink service next month. So, and it's not just for like an experiment for free. It's like a paid Starlink service for T-Mobile. So basically, you can use your phone globally on Starlink. Never have a dead zone. Be out in the woods. Be able to get cell phone service. Sounds pretty compelling. They just, SpaceX just completed the direct-to-cell constellation. If you're not paying attention, this company has a partnership with Starlink, with SpaceX. So they're gonna. That launches in July. Finish up the correction and then launch off. I don't know, maybe. Do we do that? Maybe. EMPH. Probably work. Oh, man, we got close. Got really close. Was that close enough? I don't know. Still expecting maybe $7 further downside on that one. MSTR just churning, probably. Like if Bitcoin pulls back, this will probably come tap this roadmap line right there. Would be my guess, and then we could go higher. Solar Edge, chop, choppy chop. Couldn't hold the breakout. Deep retrace. Low, that high. Yeah. Kind of deep on the downside. Low confidence on a bottom being in place so far on Solar Edge. NXT. First move down, retrace, potential to come on down. That looks positive, but watch out. The deeper retrace risk. Upside, 72 maybe. Coin. Holding in the, we're in this zone of ambiguity here. Like we're just kind of chopping in this support down here, resistance up here. We need this thing to break free and get going on the upside. I'm long Coinbase. ETHU. And that's probably going to retrace with crypto. TAN. Solar ETF, that looks like. First move down. Retrace. Looks like we're going to find a bottom somewhere in this vicinity. Maybe. ETHT. Yeah. Reverse split. RDW. And first move down. Retrace. Next move down. That's low price stuff. Be careful. Sunrun. New lows. XXRP. 2x on XRP. Watch out for getting a correction in crypto. 2x on Bitcoin. Watch out. Probably come back to the roadmap line around 42. BitX. Probably come back to the roadmap line around 46. BitU. Probably come back to the roadmap around 44. That's all those leveraged ETFs on Bitcoin right there. Back to back to back. Sugary partners. Back to the lows. Not looking too good. CoreWeave was down. Now it's reversing. Be careful. This is doing that. So this is bubble pattern type looking stuff. This is looking like the chop. If we break down, we can violently see a correction, but it may extend it and make a new high. If you've not seen the bubble pattern before, oops, wrong one, that one. This right here, extreme euphoria. Then we get some complacency chop. Then when we break down, it gets to be pretty ugly. This one probably going to do that eventually. Now, does it do it from here, or do we go ridiculously higher, maybe to 243 before we correct? DYN, that's nasty. FAS, just sitting on the roadmap line. FBTC, probably going to retrace back to the roadmap line. Bitcoin. Restoration Hardware, may do another dip. And Toyota Motors right there. So my bias for the day. Remember, come hang out. Click the link in the chat. Come hang out at 11:30. I don't want to be talking to crickets. S&P, yeah, we've got this setup where we made a lower high. Look for that next move down. Be careful. I talked about this Friday and yesterday, how we did a potential 5 down, deep retrace. We held it so far. Continuation would be lower. Be careful out there. That's kind of what I'm looking for. If we can break higher than yesterday's high, we might actually go extend this upside target 60.70, 60.80 on the cash index. If we're sitting at this gap, but if we bleed on down, probably coming on down to the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the daily. There you go. Have a great day. We'll see you. Remember, 5 p.m. here on YouTube. I also have a request show. So if you missed the 11:30, come hang out at 5. Bye for now, everybody.